everyone, welcome to the Vise Squad. My name is Tiff. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at South Dakota Fly Girl. Today on this Vise Squad episode, I'm going to show you all how to tie a pretty simple popper pattern that I use a lot for bass, northern. I've even caught some really big crappie and sunfish on this pattern in the summertime when that water starts heating up, and it's getting about that time for sure. So this is the technical name for it is just it's a salamander pattern. As you can tell, it's green, it's got some legs. This pattern that I'm going to tie, I'm going to do a variation. So as you can tell, these are barred legs, and so I'm gonna change it up a little bit because I kind of like this orange barred looking. And I'm going to change up the flash a little bit. So I'm just showing you guys that, you can use what you got. You don't need to run out and spend a ton of money on particulars. You can tie this to represent like a bait fish that's flopping around towards the top because it's dying. So, maybe tie it in a different color of rabbit. So we will go ahead and get started, and before we do, I do want to give a shout out to Anadromous Fly Company. Again, I am 100% sure that I am butchering that name, so I sincerely apologize. Hopefully we'll all get it down at some point, but I want to thank them so much for sponsoring my tying videos and making some epic products. It's just a few of the things I have showed you guys before. These are like my tungsten carbide scissors, and they are amazingly sharp, and they've stayed sharp. And then like their whip finishing tool, it's just pretty. I really like the colors. And I know they're tying tools, but it's cool to have, your favorite color. And I definitely have mine. So, and then this is their bullet bobbin. And yeah, I've just been really impressed with their products. I'm gonna get this reset up here. We are going to do a giveaway here pretty soon, and I will do, sorry, I'm reloading my bobbin, but we will I'll be doing a review on this stuff. I want to show you guys some of the other products that they make. There we go. I don't know if you guys use that trick, but literally I just run this through, and on this end I kind of suck in, and it usually brings my thread right through. So a little trick. If I know some folks use that they're particular tools for it, but that works best for me. So all right, guys, so we'll go ahead and get started. In the vise, close out a little bit, we are just putting in, this is a PR351 Light Predator hook by RX. I probably am pronouncing the name wrong. I really like their stuff. It's super sturdy, and this one is barbless. So I am all about the barbless when I can. All right, so you want to make sure that's really sturdy in there because we are going to be cranking down on it. You don't want the thing flinging out because it happens to me all the time. So our first material we're going to put on is our thread, and I'm just using 140 of veevus. We'll just start at the front. It doesn't have to be perfectly wrapped, because we'll be putting materials on this. I stop right where the hook begins. Cut that off. And then our next material is going to be black barred rabbit fur in chartreuse. Now, you can tie these in, this is like the regular width, and I've talked about this before. This is like the regular width. This fly was tied with a Magnum strip, so you can see it's quite a bit thicker. But when I went to the fly shop today, they didn't have any Magnum strips, so I am going to just tie them with just their basic black barred rabbit in chartreuse. So first thing we're gonna need to do is get our tail. So I do about 2 lengths of my hook. So 1, 2. So about there. You're just gonna pull your rabbit strip fur back. Hold it taut on there. And if this is getting in your way, just lick your fingers or have a little cup if you think that's gross. And just give it a few turns and crank down. And then a couple more turns. Crank down. All right. And then I just pull this forward and just do some wraps. And then we are literally going to go to the front. Now keep in mind, we are going to be putting a barrel head on this. So we're going to want to make sure that we're giving ourselves plenty of room. So by the time it gets pushed on there, we're going to be right there. And so we're going to be wrapping this rabbit strip, and then we're going to be putting some materials on the front. So we want to make sure we're giving ourselves enough room. Now, don't stress out if the front starts looking hideous and bulky, because as you can tell, you're going to have, you know, quite a bit of an indentation there for everything to slide on. So my biggest suggestion is don't overpack going this way, because it's going to be a pain in the rump to get this on there versus this being a little bit more sparse, and you can, you know, you've got plenty of give here to kind of hide if you didn't go forward enough versus, again, if you go too forward, you know, this is going to sit here and we obviously need this part sticking out. So what we'll do is we're going to take this strip and we're going to start wrapping. Now, you do want to kind of palmer this forward as you're wrapping, and do just touching wraps. Don't go over, because it'll get too bulky on you. So I am going to do probably one more wrap, and then we're going to call that good. So grab your thread, do a couple loose wraps, and then pull down tight, a couple more. I like to pull everything forward before I even cut anything off, and just make some turns. And then you'll go in and cut this off. I love a rotary vise for this reason. So pull it back. Remember, you have a hook there. Please, please. She's mean. Sore fingers from tying is not fun. So just kind of clean up a little bit. And then just crank down. And there's our body. So this is where we're gonna start adding our legs and our flash. So again, you can use whatever leggies you got around. I'm gonna use these kind of a, they're like an orange barred. I am going to have a total of 4 legs. So instead of cutting 4 of these off and tying them on and then deciding if I like the length, I just take 2 and I will, when I tie them in, I will have them like this. So then I've got 4, and then I'm not wasting. Okay, so I've cut 2 off, and just a little trick is to run it right under your thread and get it right on top. I mean, it's really that easy versus trying to hold it and tie it. Kind of make sure they're roughly about the same length, and I want these riding on the side, so I'm going to just capture and do a couple turns. And there's my leggies. And again, if they aren't exactly even, it's okay. And you know, when salamanders and things like that are swimming, their legs aren't identical. So we're gonna put some on the other side, doing the exact same procedure. Okay, and then we're gonna pull these all back. Again, remember you got that hook there. And there's our legs. All right, so we're gonna put in some flash again. I used kind of like a pearlescent on this one, but I am going to tie in today just some silver, and it's a little bit finer. Just has a different sheen to it. So with this one, I don't put as much in as I do of this one, just because this one doesn't catch as much of the color. But I do like this one. It really catches the light super good. And when these are flopping around on the top, it's good to have something that's catching that sunlight. So with this one and this flash, we'll probably do about 5 pieces because we will wrap it back around. So again, if you had one of those clips, like you can get them at the dollar store, like the little girls clips that they clip in their hair, you could literally have this all clipped back. So I don't use them a whole lot, so I just don't have any, but definitely a good suggestion. You can get them at the dollar store, Walmart. So again, just like we did with the legs, instead of wasting material, we are just going to double this up on itself. Pull everything back and wrap everything down. I'm gonna make a little bit of a taper there because the last material we'll be putting on is some saddle hackles. So as you can see, they're a little bit long, so we'll just go in real quick and we'll trim it down. Right about there. Perfect. All right, guys, so we're honestly getting pretty close to this fly being done. So the next thing we're going to put in is some saddle hackle. And you could use black, depending on what colors you're using. It just gives it a little bit more body towards the front. So yeah, I'm using the Chartreuse. I like it because it's a little bit more webby to me, and it kind of like you can use Rooster or you can use like Schlappen. I do like Schlappen, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but because it does keep its integrity in the water. So just find a piece that you like. And we are going to be tying from this end because we want that thicker, as you can see here. So we're going to cut off all this fuzzies because we don't really want that. I pick a couple of feathers off just to give myself a little tie-in point. Now, remember, we're going to want the feather to go this way versus going this way. So we want the fibers going that way. So we will go ahead and get this tied in. And again, this is where the baby clips would be beneficial, like the little girl's hair's clips. So we're just going to capture this, and I'm kind of doing it towards here because I'm going to wrap it back. Like so, because I really don't want that to slide on me. So then wrap it back forward. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit so it's angling more up. There we go. Okay, so a little trick, you can take your scissors, because we want all this fibers to go back. Take your scissors and kind of run it along this edge, and it kind of breaks up the fibers a little bit, so that as you're wrapping it, it will palmer back better. So we'll get this started here. Just kind of keep your ladies out of the way. And then start palmering it back. You can make this as sparse or as dense as you would like it. It's just essentially just a head for right behind our popper material. So I kind of like it a little crazy. All right, so I like that about there. And a little wrap here. Don't stress too much if you capture some of the feathers. Before I cut this off, I like to bring everything back. Remember your hook. All right, right now she's looking like a hot mess. We'll go in and capture this. We'll go in and just kind of break up the fibers a little bit. All right, my loves. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is our head. And this is kind of tricky sometimes, especially when you have a hook that's bigger and wider there, because you're only popping a hole in this with your bodkin. So I use this really awesome, I love it. It's a wood handled one by Anadromous. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna run it right through the front of this head. Be careful of your fingers. And I like to kind of spin it, you know, give an opening the best I can. So like this. And don't worry about mushing these. As you can see, I am mushing it and it's keeping its integrity. So you are gonna have to really crank down on it. So I am going to put some just regular old super glue. You can use hard as nails, or you just want something that's going to keep it there. So we are gonna go ahead and whip finish this because I don't need this thread anymore. Come on. Go ahead and cut that off. Put our super glue on. This is just to keep the head in place. Okay, so we're gonna take the head that we've made a hole in, and now it's gonna look like we're wrestling this thing. So you just really have to push it on. Like I said, don't stress out that you're killing it or destroying the integrity. And there we go. Okay, so some guys or gals will run thread at the front and then whip finish it to kind of keep it on, but honestly with that super glue, it doesn't go nowhere. So our actual last step for this little fly, it's kind of big I guess, but is going to be to give it some eyes. If you don't want to invest in eyes, you can use a permanent marker in different colors. But I kind of like, you know, the realism of the eyes. So these are just the eyes that they sell that go into these Surface, Seducer, double barrel hopper and slider bodies. So to keep them, they are sticky, but to keep them in, I do put a little bit of head cement in there. I'll grab an eye, just slide it in there. And as you can see, it's kind of hanging there right now. So what I do is I take my bodkin and I just use it to slide it in. And press down, and there's the eye. And so we'll do the other side. And there you guys go. That is my variation of a salamander pattern. As you can tell with this one, it's a little bit more narrow, as we had talked about at the beginning, because I'm using just a basic black barred rabbit strip on this one. If you want a more bulky one, definitely get the Magnum strips, because as you can tell, just a little bit smaller, not as thick, but it's just as effective. I've never had a fish come up and say, that is not a Magnum. So that is going to be the end of this tying video. I want to thank you all for stopping by and watching today's fly tying segment with me. I truly appreciate you guys following me along on my journey. I am by no means a professional tyer. You know, I've been tying for quite a few years, but I'm still pretty, novice in it. So I enjoy bringing some of these patterns that work super well for me. I hope you all enjoyed spending a little time with me. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas, so drop them in the comments below. Good, bad, or indifferent, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Please give this video a like, and if you don't already subscribe, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please hit that subscribe button now, and don't forget to smash the reminder bell so you're one of the first to see when our new tying segments do come out. If you're in the market for some gear, make sure to head on over to fishingandoutdoors.ca for my Canadian friends, and fishingandoutdoors.net for my US friends. I'll be back to hang out with you guys and gals every Sunday with a new fly tying segment. But in the meantime, you can also check out my fellow fly tyer, Ryan. He's always tying up such amazing patterns. I will say it every time that I do one of these videos. I hope to get to the magnitude of his tying skills. So if you guys are watching this and are thinking, hey, this would be kind of fun to just share some patterns with my fellow fly fishermen, by all means drop a comment, or you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Again, it's South Dakota Fly Girl. And if you're interested in joining the tying squad with us, the Vise Squad, by all means send me a message, and I'll get you to the right folks, and we can go from there. So thank you all very much again. I'll see you next week. Tight lines, my friends.